Get started. We'll go ahead and hands across the chest. Close your eyes. Meditate. Think about how good it is to see another day. As always, thank you for joining me this morning. It's going to be a short version of Gerocise, but that's okay. And being Martin Luther King celebration, thank you for being a part of this Gerocise session. Last we met, we talked about suicide. And this morning, take some deep breaths. Keep your eyes closed, please. And this morning I want to talk about how to help people who think about suicide. You know, how to help people who feel so worthless, so helpless, so hopeless, to the point where they feel that there's no outlet, no other outlet than suicide. I really want to focus on how to help mend and heal hurting hearts. After we get through this series, of course, we'll be talking about grief and how to get through grief. You know, discussing the differences between bereavement, grief, and mourning. They're all intertwined, but they all have their separate meanings. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Focus on your blessings and not your burdens. As always, when I talk to people on the crisis line, I commit to helping them think godly, think healthy, think holy. And that's what I want you to do right now. Just think about think godly, think healthy, think holy thoughts right now. Because the more we think godly, the more we think holy, the more we think healthy thoughts, the more and the better chances our actions and our words will be godly, healthy, and holy. When we think ugly and negative, well, even the Bible talks about, so as a man thinketh, so is he. And, you know, what comes out of you, what's in you will eventually come out of you. So the more, I believe, the more you put of him in you, the better off we. One more deep breath. You open your eyes now? Okay. Like I said, Mr. Bruce, that's what we're talking about later. And I think we may have discussed it a little bit before when you were with us, my suicide, a little bit. And I know you like to tell the end of this. But when you think of suicide, what crosses your mind?
You can't cope with the problem. Something they don't want to deal with. They don't have strength, the ability to face hardships. Some people commit suicide on having money problem, family problem.
Right.
Maybe a girlfriend problem or something, you know.
Relationship?
Yeah, relationship, everything. Commit suicide, you know, they get caught in an act or something, you know. If they committed a crime or something, they can't cope with it, you know.
So if you came across somebody who was suicidal, what would you say to her? What would you say to him? So if somebody came up to you right now and said, go ahead.
I have crossed people who were suicidal.
Oh, really? Okay.
I have talked to them, you know.
And what did you?
I told them, there's suicide, you know. It don't just affect yourself.
Right.
It affects more than yourself. It affects a lot of people. There's a whole lot of people. You commit suicide. Take yourself, you know, something. If you got children and anything,
Right.
It'll affect your children. It'll affect your brother, your sister, your parents, and all, you know.
And it's interesting you say that because even though you weren't part of one of our discussions, that's one of the points I brought out is that it's estimated that for every suicide that's actually completed, the person who committed it will impact the lives of at least 6 people. At least 6 people. And if you have big families, of course, but at least 6, and that's the minimum. But I'm sorry, go ahead. You were saying. So when you help these people, what did you say?
Get them to realize, things ain't always as bad as it seems, Nothing really as bad as it seems, I don't care what you did, You can, you can deal with it. You sit there and think about it,
Right.
Because sometimes stuff just happens, And you just got to roll with the punches,
Right.
And you got to stand up and say, okay, I made this mistake. Ask God to forgive you,
Right.
God to bless you and help you.
Boy, you back? What's going on, man? Y'all doing all right? Y'all doing all right?
You can join us if you want to.
No, I got a little word.
Oh, okay.
Hey, dude.
All right.
And then, just tell me, say, look, that I care about you. Tell people to care about me, You're not alone.
Yeah.
You have to go through this by yourself. It's not bad, and don't put your mouth down on one person,
Right.
If a person commits suicide, one spouse wants to say leave, just want to go to mess around with somebody else,
Right.
No, just because of it, that means your life is over with.
Right. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Just back up and look. Pick yourself up,
Yeah.
And say, do this for yourself.
Right. Love yourself. Yeah. And that's what I'm finding out more than anything. I shared with Ms. Annie and the rest of the group before that there are 3 things that I've come across when people who call the crisis line. Yeah, they're feeling helpless, they're feeling worthless, they're feeling hopeless, but more importantly, to me, they stop trusting themselves, they stop loving themselves, and they stop respecting themselves. And those 3, of course, if you stop doing those 3, yeah, you're going to feel worthless, you're going to feel hopeless, you're going to feel helpless, So go ahead.
Yeah, see, long as you trust in God, ask God for help, Like I said, and nothing too hard for you. He won't put nothing on you that you cannot bear. Your burdens, You just take all your problems, God, just leave them there.
Right.
And He can help you go through any crisis that we go. You, myself, Ms. Annie, we all go home But God is with us all the time, 24/7.
Yeah.
In the midnight hour, you know, we can all roll over and care what time of night it is, or what time of the morning it is, and ask God for help. He's always there. He's there. He's constantly there.
Right.
He's there by our side.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have, put yourself some faith within yourself and some belief. You got to have some belief. Believe.
Right.
If you lose all belief and then have no belief, then you almost lost.
Yeah.
But if you got a little belief will grow a lot.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
You got a little bit of belief.
Right. A little faith. Yeah.
A little bit will go a long way. A little bit will bring more.
Right. That's true. Ms. Annie?
Yeah,
Mr. Rock? Come on, Mr. Rock.
I was,
Hey, Mr. Rock.
How you doing?
All right.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. So how, Ms. Annie, how would you, well, go ahead, what were you about to say? I was asking how would you help somebody?
I've been thinking about it, and about 2 Sundays ago, I usually get up and watch Bereavement-the at 6 o'clock on Sunday mornings.
Okay.
And this particular morning, his sermon was, what a difference that they made.
Right.
And he was talking about this Leandra that was on the Sunday's best. And since she stayed in New Orleans, she had lost everything in the flood. And she didn't have a place to go. She had other people, but she was saying that she was just lost.
Right.
And he said, and I heard the story that that she had planned to kill herself. That she was going to commit suicide.
Right.
Because she didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And she was talking to whomever she was talking to. They told us, hey, why don't you just wait a bit, just kind of hold on. And she did. The next day, this particular Sunday best, excuse me, my voice is going to leave me. But the next day, the Sunday best was there. And when she went and tried out, they talked about it because of the way she was dressed.
Right.
And they asked her, why are you dressed like that? You got all these flip-flops with socks on, these pants, and she said, I didn't know anything else to put on because I don't have anything else to put on. I said, she said, but when she sang, it was altogether a different story.
Oh, really?
But she won Sunday's best.
Right,
But see, as the Reverend, he said, but what a difference a day makes.
Yeah.
Just 24 hours.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah.
And he brought that out so nice.
Right.
I said, my God, it does make a difference.
Oh, yeah.
You can just take, if you know, I can say myself, a lot of problems, you just take 24 hours, just sit there and think and pray, whatever.
Right.
And
Meditate.
you never know what 24 hours will bring, So you keep hoping and having faith in God to do these things.
Yeah.
And you never know what might
That's true.
happen. These are just things that do. But I just enjoyed that song because he kept talking about 24 hours and how the people sing it, but they never know that was going to be meant for things of just of 24 hours.
Right.
Just never know how 24 hours will turn out.
So that's a show, a singing show, I guess, right?
Yeah, Sunday best.
Sunday best. Okay. Is
Sunday
that on cable?
Yeah.
See, I don't have cable. I
Yeah, that was.
don't have it.
It was on BET.
Okay, yeah, I don't have it. Yeah. Why you look at me like that? Mr.
Well,
Robert?
I had it because my son gave it to me.
Yeah.
Well, he did.
No, we used to have it, but then we cut back on a lot of things.
Well, it's so
Pocketbook.
They coach you. They coach you.
Yeah.
But I had it before I came over here.
Right.
I just couldn't keep it up.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like every time you get, they start you out
Right.
at like $40.
At 40 turn to 50.
After
turn
3
to 60,
months,
turn to 80.
Mhm.
Then you add a little time here, add a little, so that adds up, Mr. Robert. That's the reason why. Pocketbooks are getting light, so it's time to.
This morning I had
gas money.
because I had a problem with it this morning.
Oh, really?
So, it just went out.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, did my son get it? Well, I know about how it goes out, but this just, the lights didn't go out. It was just the TV. And I didn't bother for a while, so I went back and turned it on, but anyway.
So what happened was that lady, she was real depressed, distraught the day before,
right.
and then she was encouraged to just hold on a little while longer, and so she ended up winning. Okay, yeah, that's good. I mean, who was that? Miss Bernice was saying, just smiling at people, that
People, I always know because people will smile, will get you a lot of places.
Yeah.
But people don't know how you feel inside.
Right.
Until you start talking.
Expressing, yeah, that's true. Ms. Robert, you came across somebody who thought about killing himself, or no? I said if you came across somebody who thought about killing himself or herself, what would you do? How would you help that person?
I try to lighten them up a little bit, because
How so?
it ain't nothing you can do dead. That's the first thing I learned from some book I read back in the 70s. And I would just tell them that to begin with, because when you dead, you gone.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's no. Ms. Andy, you mentioned tomorrow. There's no
Take a
tomorrow.
few cans around and come up.
Yeah.
I've done it because when I came up here, I quit 3 jobs so my wife could be near her grandsons as they graduated from high school and everything. And, to me, it would have been a dumb move, but the way things going, I would grab everybody to die out there.
Okay.
My mother, her mother, her father, my father, my uncles. We've been there 23 years, tried to buy home, land, and everything else. Had the money, but they don't have the sense.
Oh, yeah.
So we picked up and came back to them. That's where we should have stayed. Up here, you got a lot of opportunities. The people that are here didn't take advantage of it.
Okay.
Because your computers and everything, I don't think you can go in any house and not find a laptop to read.
Oh, that's true.
Because I don't have one because I don't want one.
Right.
They walk just as good as I do with somebody else. They just take wings. What is it? I put it over here on the table. It's gone.
Oh, laptops.
Yeah.
So how would you encourage somebody though? If I came up to you, to Mr. Robert, I mean today I want to kill myself. How would you help me? What would you say to me?
Don't do it.
Okay.
That's the start of it.
And then I say.
And I'd probably tell them to read the 23rd Psalm. Because there's always someone with
Okay, but now I'm gonna say, yeah, but I've done that. I don't think God can help me out. Well, what?
If you give him time, he'll help you out. That would probably be my next way. I try not to be around people who think like that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
Back in the 80s when I had that thought.
Oh, so you've had this thought before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I had 17 years of
the mountaintop, and then you started going to the valley. Huh? Okay.
I made it halfway down.
Okay.
That's what I made it.
Okay.
When I read to I think it was a Dale Carnegie, one of the Carnegies, the book of Norman Vincent Field, Catholic Southwestern.
Right.
And I was working on a nursing home, and I never thought I'd get this old. I'm going to tell you.
Oh, really?
I figured that I'd make some mistake and slap the wrong person. That would be it. But I got away, I'm still walking.
Yeah. So when you said you never thought that you'd be this, I mean,
This old?
This old.
Oh, really? 65 come October.
Okay.
And I was fighting around 25 that I thought would cope with something crazy would happen.
Yeah.
And,
So you said back in the 80s, suicide crossed your mind. So who encouraged you then? And what did he or she say?
just knowing that I had my grandmother and my mother, and I went down there and they talked lots of crap to me. And that's what I think, and then they put me to work.
Okay.
And we just drove it on from there. So she died about 6 years ago.
Your grandmother?
My mother.
Your mother? Okay.
And I just decided I'd come back up here. This is the one place that nobody in my family would come and visit me.
Oh, really?
They wouldn't even come up here for a holiday. And if I tried to stay away from going there now, they'd send somebody up there to take me there.
Yeah.
Bring me.
Really?
Was the way or any other way.
Yeah.
But I just remember them. That was about it.
You know, it's interesting you mentioned that, and you can chime in when you want to. How important is family?
Very important. That's the most important thing you can have. Family. Family is the most important thing you can have.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, as we get older, our circle gets smaller, you know? And then interesting, I mean, when you grew up, you had friends and, you know, their families and all that. But then when you branched off on your own, started your own family, and, you know, moved into a neighborhood or whatever. But everything changed, the whole dynamics changed. And then that's what, you know, you mentioned your grandmother and your mother. And like Mr. Bruce was saying, I mean, without family, I mean, loving yourself is one thing, but without your family, boy, it's, I mean, your physical and your spiritual, you know?
Yes, you got to have family. Your family, you got your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, and all that. Family don't always mean that you and your siblings.
Right.
Family, when you say family, it's spread out, branch.
Right.
A big tree, you know, like a family tree. You got generations, you know. You got different generations. You got your cousin. You may have your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Some people that have got great-great-grandchildren. You know?
Right.
Some of them got great-grandchildren. They got 2 or 3 different generations.
Right.
That's a lot of generations.
Yeah.
They have big families, you know. Some people got small families, you know.
Right.
But you got, and then you include all your other relatives in, all your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, you know.
Yeah.
Your sisters and your brothers, you know, your nephews and all that stuff.
Right.
Nieces. And you bring them all into the deal, that's a family.
Yeah.
You bring the whole family in, you know.
Yeah.
You know, trying to say, well, that's part of my family, I don't deal with that.
Yeah.
No, God wanted the whole family. You got to have the whole pie.
Yeah.
You know, you don't take the pie and say, well, I just like this pie right here.
This slice.
Yeah, and then regular pie and
Well, some people think like that.
Yeah.
Because even today, my family is big.
Right.
Especially on my dad's side. He had 10 brothers, but him makes 11, so it's 11 of them.
11 boys.
Well, no, it was girls too.
Oh, okay, okay. 11 brothers and sisters. Okay, okay, okay.
And, but they have, like now, all of them are gone.
Yeah.
But they have, most of them have children, but most of the aunts are, well, all the aunts and uncles are gone. And, but it's so many cousins.
Right, right.
I kept in touch with one of my aunts, one of my dad's sisters. Her oldest son and I were about the same age.
Okay.
And she had 15, 16 children.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I went to their mother's funeral. And the 15 children, she had more than that, but some of them died. So
Right.
she had maybe about 20 children.
20 altogether. Yeah.
She had some miscarriages in
Right,
between.
right.
But 15 little children.
Yeah.
And that was the only brother that had that many children. Now he had a brother that had 9 children.
Right.
He had 9 children.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But they always call us the Dallas family.
Okay.
This was in San Antonio.
Okay, okay.
San Antonio is filled with calls and whatever. We don't know.
Right.
They don't know me. I don't know them.
Mm.
When we even go there for funerals, get to meet these people, but don't see them no more.
Yeah, yeah.
There's some, you see, the one that I kept in touch with, he stayed in California. He worked at UCLA for 33 years.
Right.
He was a forensic person. He
Okay.
taught at UCLA.
Oh, really? Okay, okay.
And he died about 3 months ago.
Oh, really?
And when I called to check on him, and well, another cousin that stayed in San Antonio called me, and I couldn't go to the funeral because when they called me, it was like the funeral going to be within 2 days.
Yeah.
No way I'm going to say, son, give me a ticket to go to California because I was too quick.
Right, right.
And but anyway, I looked at it on the computer. She told me what to do, and I did get the funeral on the computer. And I said, but you know, this closeness, they only know me by name.
Right.
As far as, because I met them when I was there.
Right.
I always went to California to see them.
Yeah.
But she remembered me, but she has a brother and sister that don't really know me.
Yeah.
And their mother died this same year. So this year, I mean in 2010,
Right.
they lost their mother and their dad.
Mm.
And it's just them now. But their grandmother is still living.
Okay. Really? Wow. How was she?
She's 90 something.
Wow.
That was their mother. This is their mother's mother.
Okay.
And she stays in Baton Rouge.
Oh, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she gets around, from what I understand, she gets around pretty
Yeah.
well. But now her daughter's gone, the children are still in California. Gosh, but we have a big family.
Yeah, yeah.
And in San Antonio, there's no telling who you may run into.
So that's related to you?
Yeah.
But then that's the point I was making though, is about the
They're
family.
not close.
Right, that's what I mean, but that's what I was saying. You're right, Mr. Bruce, as far as family is important, but I even look at Jesus. He really just hung around Peter, James, and John, you know, and those were his quote-unquote boys or homies, whatever you want to call them. I mean, his close, John was, I think, his cousin, you know, and so I think that was that particular John, I think. But anyway, what's my point though? That's why I was talking about the circle gets closer. I mean, it gets tighter. Yeah, smaller and smaller as we age. We have family. I have a lot of family back in Michigan, true enough. But as far as ones I can depend on, it's only about 2 or 3. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. 2 or 3 at the most that I can depend on in the midnight hour. Yeah, we can depend on God doing through. But I'm saying those close members that you can count on and what, drop them down? Yeah. Those are very few. Because, let's face it, family or not, some folks you just don't want know your business. Because a lot of times they try to harm you instead of help you. You know. But about that time, a few more minutes, yeah. But no, family is number one. But if we take anything to just help people redirect their thinking, those who want to do harm, any kind of harm. I mean, you know, you heard about that Tucson shooting, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, I know that's a bad thing, don't get me wrong, okay? But I think about that boy's parents too, though. You know, I mean, the struggle they're going through right now. I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about that. But they're grieving. They lost a son.
Yeah, in fact.
You know, they lost a son. I don't know if you heard about, remember Nick Van Exel? He used to play basketball.
Yeah.
His son, he unfortunate. Who? Nick Van Exel. He's played for the Lakers and he played for, I think he won the championship with Magic or Kobe. And he also played with the Mavericks a little bit. And unfortunately his son, they were playing around with a shotgun, I think. And,
Yeah, it was a shotgun.
yeah, he killed a little boy and he dumped the body over, I think by Lake Hubbard or something like that. And,
Yes, and said it was not too far from where they stayed.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they were saying.
but I think he
Said, why
panicked.
would you move? Okay, you did it accidentally.
Yeah,
But why would you
right.
move the body?
Right.
So,
But my point is, you have two grieving families
Right.
now. Nick's family and the boy's family. You know, and it's sad. And that's what we're going to be talking about. And this is a good segue into what we're going to be talking about next. Grief. We're talking about grief. And I mentioned before about Judas when he committed suicide, you know, and, you know, after betraying Jesus. But we don't think about Judas's family. You know, and like I say, his father's name was Simon. Simon Iscariot.
See, Judas had a chance. Judas could have got forgiven. All he had to do was ask God to forgive him, you know.
Right.
And he would have been forgiven.
Yeah.
That's all he had to do. See, he told his life when he committed suicide. That destroyed his whole deal.
Yeah.
If a person commits suicide, that's breaking with God. That means. You don't cut your string, God, that thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Once you take your own life.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Right.
Well, again, like I said before, I used to think that, and that could be a whole other discussion. But
You don't have no chance. If you take your own life, you ain't got no chance for no forgiveness.
asking for forgiveness, I understand that.
You ain't got no chance for no forgiveness. Now, if somebody else taking your life, you can be asking forgiveness within yourself before somebody else take your life.
Right.
You can always be asking for forgiveness.
But the point and you weren't in here, Mr. Bruce, when I said this, the point I made when that little girl and I think a little boy recently, 12, 13, or 14 years old, took his life or her life, and they were being bullied on the school ground. Just bullied, pushed around, talked about, dogged out, stumped on, the whole 9 yards, and they felt that they didn't have a place to turn. See, I think, again, thankfully, and like I said, I used to have that same mentality that you go into hell if you can commit suicide. I used to have that same, but then after looking at it, thankfully God is the judge. I know we're not supposed to kill and all that stuff. But if your mind is ill, if your mind is not well, because think about it, if you want to commit suicide, your mind's not well. You're not thinking rationally.
Yeah, you know, the devil tricked you.
Well, that could be true. Or you're not thinking well.
You're not in the wrong predicament.
You know how I always say thinking godly, healthy, and holy? Well, if you
Ain't one or two ways to put it. You can see God and everything, the devil got you.
Yeah. Well, that's true. And thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. Those will be here next week.
okay.
Yeah, we're about to continue. Yeah. But
We're going to
no,
be here next week at 10 o'clock. I'll be here.
10 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
I came earlier, but then I went back and the neighbor wanted something done. I had to go. God,
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Well, 10 o'clock next week, okay?
okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
But that's a whole nother discussion, man. I mean, like I was saying, though.
I don't know what I would say to anybody else.
Well, my thinking is, Mr. Robbins, is that God is the ultimate judge, bottom line. And He'll determine, He knows your heart anyway.
That suicide thing when it left me in 82,
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever returned.
Yeah.
Because it has always been so much junk going on. Like now, my wife is diabetic, they're trying to make me one.
Right.
She lost her leg, she lost her
I had that amputated.
So I have to stick around to make sure she makes it on down. And I'm going to try to get back at it and get back to working.
Yeah.
Because this is sitting
You
around.
mind taking these from?
Where they going?
Oh, over in that room right here. I got to go for him. That room right there.
There you are.
I appreciate
All
it,
this
Mr. Robert.
junk is going kooky. Wait a minute. Where's the wheel? The front.
Thank you, sir. Stay healthy, my brother.
Yeah, you stay there.
All right.
Be here.
Oh, yeah. So, we had a good discussion about suicide today, helping those who contemplate suicide. And I thank you for being a part of this Gerocise with Mark and giving me an opportunity, affording me an opportunity to share with you and share others' opinions about helping those who are suicide. Some of you may come across someone who thinks about it. My thinking is simply that helping people to realize it's important to love themselves first, trust themselves and respect themselves. And I think in doing so, you'll be able to reconnect with them and not allow them to think that they're worthless, think that they're helpless, think that they're hopeless, and just give them a sense of purpose. And that would hold true in any instance. Also, I believe that, I talk about my book, E equals SVM, emotional stability, equals spiritual, physical, mental wellness, and strength. And I have that circle, and in the circle is the word trust. And I have a triangle holding that circle. And within this triangle, I have the words love and respect. And underneath that triangle, I have the caption, ball control, ellipse. Do not let the ball fall. My premise is trust is built and maintained by love and respect. And when those three components are missing in any given situation, they're missing, then there's a good chance that the person or persons will feel helpless, hopeless, and worthless. But I do believe that in seeking Him, that is God the Father, He'll provide that outlet for you, as described in 1 Corinthians 10, 12 and 13. Well, of course, in 12 it talks about, though you may think you're strong, take heed lest you fall. But we all have purpose. We all have meaning. My purpose, of course, is always to serve seniors the best way I can through my Gerocise with Mark emotional empowerment sessions. And so, again, if anyone that you know is concerned about, not being himself or herself, and they're, and if anyone is mentioning that word, you know, contact, you know, your local suicide and crisis hotline. Refer them to, you know, if anyone that you know who maybe, you know, maybe a survivor. There are survivors of suicide, support groups that are around. And like I said, I work on the crisis line here in Dallas. I love what I do. I love empowering. I love telling people that they can do a 180 and that they can, they don't have to remain, they don't have to remain in that quagmire, in that mire of unhealthy, ungodly, and unholy thinking, and that they can get through it. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. Suicide is something that's not something. Suicide is something that can be overcome. The thought. Yeah, the thought. The thought. I truly believe that the thought can be overcome. And the action can be avoided. Love yourself, trust yourself, respect yourself. Remember that. Love yourself, trust yourself, and respect yourself. You have meaning, you have purpose, you have hope, you have help, you have worth. Remember, there's a 180 in everything. There's a 180 in everything. What was once unhealthy can become healthy. What was once ungodly can become godly. What was once unholy can become holy. That may be the consummate or the quintessential optimist, if there is such a thing, but I just believe that. Don't allow Satan the victory. Yes. Just like Nike, which means conqueror or victorious. You can overcome those thoughts. God bless you, and I love you. Thank you for being a part of Gerocise with Mark.